Ctv3 News. High Court hears constitutional claim for redistricting ahead of general elections. Election redistricting dispute. Attorney General defends Ministry's representation in court. Family desperately seeks help as Carlos Casanova goes missing. And we'll tell you how Orange Walk East is preparing for general elections. Will the UDP be able to find an opponent for PUP standard bearer Kevin Bernard? These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, February 12, 2025.
Really? You not switch yet? No what? I tell you. I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that thought line bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that thought line bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up and run, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's Smarter, no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Attention residents of Orange Walk. Keeping your town clean and safe is crucial for our community's well-being. However, there is a pressing issue that we need your help to tackle: bushy and abandoned lots. These neglected areas attract pests like rodents, snakes, and other dangerous animals, creating a hazard for everyone. Not only that, these lots become breeding grounds for illicit activities, posing a threat to our town's security. Moreover, they are a sore on the beauty of our thriving community. Under the Public Health Act, Chapter 40 of the Laws of Belize, these neglected lots are considered nuisances. Failure to address them after receiving a due warning can lead to fines imposed by the court on the property's owners. Let's all play our part in keeping Orange Walk Town clean and safe. If you spot an abandoned or bushy lot in your neighborhood, don't hesitate to report it. Report any such lots to us promptly. You can reach us at 380-2053 or send us a message via WhatsApp to 655-4588. Your vigilance can help us maintain our town's beauty and safety. The Orange Walk Town Council, moving forward, one town, one vision.
Vamos bien con Kevin Bernard, Kevin Bernard, Kevin Bernard, Kevin Bernard. Champion, champion, Kevin is the champion, 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 champion. Kevin Bernard is the people's champion, champion, champion. Kevin is the champion, 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 champion. Southeast and West, Kevin is a true champion. 2020, Kevin came with a vision. Executed well, he's a man on a mission. The work continues with new innovation. Plan Belize 2.0 activation. Benefiting the West, North to South and East. Infrastructure and opportunities. Plenty get done, plenty more to come. Kevin Bernard, you can continue depend on. Champion, champion, Kevin is the champion, 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 champion. Kevin Bernard is the people's champion, champion, champion. Kevin is the champion, 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 champion. Southeast and West, Kevin is a true champion. Sports development, woman empowerment, infrastructure, youth involvement. recruitment. Heart of a champion, full confident. Astonishing leader, no argument. Relentlessly with a passion and drive. Natural born leader, no one gets deprived. Dedicated to serving and provide. Leaves in good hands, no one can deny. Champion, 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 champion. Kevin Bernard is the people's champion. Champion, 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 champion. North, south, east and west, Kevin is a true champion. Champion, 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 champion. Hey, one time for the champion. Hey, two time for the champion. Hey, three time for the champion. Hey, everybody shout it out loud now. Champion, champion, Kevin is the champion, 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 champion. Kevin Bernard is the people's champion. Champion, champion, Kevin is the champion, 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 champion. North, south, east and west, Kevin is a true champion.
Good evening with your news also simulcast on Face FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. In a significant legal proceeding this morning, High Court Justice Tawanda Ondora initiated hearings on a constitutional claim demanding the urgent redistricting of electoral boundaries prior to the upcoming general elections. The hearing took place at 11 a.m. with the claimant's attorney, senior counsel Anand Ramlogan, participating virtually under an expedited request. The session almost faced an abrupt adjournment when technical difficulties arose, rendering Ramlogan unable to clearly hear the judge. Notably, the court's preference for in-person proceedings prompted Justice Rondora to instruct Ramlogan to appear physically in court next week or to arrange for local representation for the claimants. Following the judge's entry into the virtual session, communication improved, allowing for the continuation of legal arguments. At the heart of the hearing was a clarification from Justice Ondora regarding the case before the court. The initial application aimed to prevent the Prime Minister from announcing elections, but was amended at 7:38 p.m. Tuesday, shortly after the announcement of elections. The amended application sought to revoke the Prime Minister's advice to the Governor General concerning the issuance of writs for elections. However, the amendment claim failed to incorporate reliefs. Ramlogan reclaimed that from what he characterized as the government's intentional actions to obstruct the claimants' efforts in pursuing their constitutional claims, asserting, "We are merely trying to keep up." The case involves claimants Jeremy Enriquez, Rudolph Norales, also known as Nigel Petillo, and Jessica Tulsi, who contend that their constitutional rights are being violated, distinguishing their claim from a previous 2019 redistricting challenge by the Belize Peace Movement. When pressed by Justice Ondora on why the court should grant their sought-after reliefs, Ramlogan cited the procedural rights afforded to his clients under the court's rules, asserting their entitlement to interim reliefs that would maintain the status quo during their pivotal period. In stark opposition, senior counsel Eamon Courtney presented the government urged the court to dismiss the claim. He contended that the Prime Minister has not infringed upon any public duty, highlighting that he possesses no power to compel parliamentary votes on the redistricting bill or to influence the actions of any House committee. Courtney further argued against the court's jurisdiction to direct parliamentary actions, citing the doctrine of separation of powers as a fundamental principle. He emphasized that once elections have been proclaimed and writs issued by the Governor General, established legal procedures are initiated that cannot simply be halted. Courtney cautioned that an order to keep Parliament undissolved could set a dangerous precedent potentially granting the Prime Minister unprecedented powers to maintain authority through a prolonged redistricting process. At around 6:30 this evening, attorneys Eamon Courtney and Godfrey Smith walked out of the courtroom but did not stop to speak to the media about the outcome of the hearing. We understand, however, that written submissions are to be made Friday, the 15th of February. The judge also granted the Elections and Boundaries Commission, represented by Senior Counsel Godfrey Smith, leave to make submissions as well by Monday, February 17th. After reciting all the submissions, Judge Ondora is expected to make a decision sometime next week. As mentioned previously, attorneys Eamon Courtney and Godfrey Smith appeared today in the courtroom of Justice Ondora to contest an application filed by Jerry Enriquez and his attorney Anand Ramlugan regarding an injunction on the official announcement of the upcoming general election. The claimants argued that proceeding with the elections without a redistricting exercise would violate the country's constitution. The senior counsels of Courtney and Smith are representing the Attorney General, Anthony Sylvester, who serves as the respondent in this case. While making statements to the media after a separate court appearance, Attorney General Anthony Sylvester was questioned about why the AG's ministry is not represented by one of its own lawyers in the matter.
It's a valid concern, a valid observation. So, as you may be aware, so the Attorney General's ministry is charged with defending all matters. And we have a cadre of excellent, brilliant Crown Counsel, but as occurs with this matter, you're faced with a very urgent matter, a matter which requires an attorney with certain special skill and expertise. And regrettably, unfortunately, that's the nature of the affairs, and so we have to engage such attorneys.
But are public funds being judiciously spent in defense of an indefensible position that you're going to vote with a completely malapportioned voters list?
I would not say as you have characterized it, and as you generally do, Jules, you articulate with such spellbounded effect. One might be persuaded, yes, to seduce to accept it, but no, I don't necessarily agree with you. And as I indicated earlier, we don't want to prejudge whatever determination that has to be made by the court. But certainly, I readily concede that that is a valid concern. But as I indicated, it is something in the normal course of things that government has to do.
Parliament has been officially dissolved following an announcement by Prime Minister John Bersenio regarding the date for the next general elections. The announcement was made on Tuesday, setting the stage for a month-long electoral process leading up to the elections. The next pivotal date in the electoral timeline is Nomination Day, scheduled for February 24th, as candidates prepare to vie for seats in the National Assembly. Despite the dissolution, the Belizean Constitution safeguards governance continuity. Prime Minister Bersenio and his ministerial team retain their authority until a new government is appointed post-election. Attorney General Anthony Sylvester shed light on this aspect of the constitutional provisions. Attorney General Anthony Sylvester today explained this process as we head towards Election Day in 1 month.
I don't recall a specific constitutional section, but it does make provision that the ministers of state, they continue to act, because you need to have a government which continues to ensure that national security issues and other issues that those are being addressed. And so we're an interim government, we are a caretaker government at this point in time, no? Sir,
as the nation readies for the upcoming elections, Attorney General Sylvester also took a moment to reflect on his tenure as the Attorney General's ministry.
Defense attorney.
Well, you're not seeking office, but if the PUP were to win another term, do you see yourself serving as Attorney General again?
Again, let us not jump ahead of ourselves. The will of the people, we first have to allow that process to take place, and secondly, that is a determination that the Prime Minister has. But it certainly has been an extreme honor for me to have served as as the Attorney General, and to I think in the short time that we were able to achieve significant milestones and achievements with respect to in the justice system, and in particular with the criminal justice reform.
With the election date fast approaching, all eyes will remain focused on the political campaigns that ensue, shaping the discourse and destiny of Belize in the coming weeks. In a key announcement that sets the stage for the country's next chapter, Prime Minister John Briceño confirmed in a live stream from Belmopan that Belizeans will head to the polls on March 12, 2025 to exercise their democratic right to vote. The official declaration comes as the Governor General has already dissolved the House of Representatives, marking the beginning of the election season, during which all political parties will ramp up their campaigns to form the next government. In an official press release shared yesterday by the government of Belize, GOB, it has also been made clear that the designated election day, March 12, 2025, will be recognized as both a public and bank holiday. This significant decision aims to ensure that all eligible voters have ample opportunity to make informed choices regarding their preferred candidates without the constraints of their daily responsibilities. Concern for the well-being of Carlos Casanova, a local man originally from the village of Trinidad in Orange Walk, has intensified as he has been reported missing since Saturday. Casanova's family and friends are deeply worried about his sudden disappearance, fearing that something may be seriously wrong. Last seen in San Pedro, Casanova has not contacted anyone since that day. His family expressed alarm as he is not known to be the type of person to vanish without a trace. His elderly sister, Telma Corrado, who has flown to San Pedro from her home in Trinidad, spoke to reporters today about her urgent search for her brother. According to her, Casanova's disappearance raised significant concern as his wallet, phone, and personal laptop were found untouched in his room, suggesting he did not intend to leave suddenly or voluntarily.
Estaba trabajando acá en San Pedro y nunca había pasado algo así. Su último trabajo fue en Blue Grill Restaurant, creo que es. Entonces, la señora que limpia, la que ve de los cuartos, pues, dice que el sábado lo vio por última vez y se le hizo extraño de que ella no lo volvió a ver más, y estuvo tocándole su puerta para que él abra y nada. Entonces,
in a heartfelt plea, the Casanova family is asking the public to assist in locating Carlos. Corrado has officially lodged a missing persons report with the San Pedro Police Department, which has commenced an investigation into the matter.
Anoche hice ese reporte. La verdad estoy atrás de ellos porque necesito que chequeen unas cámaras que están enfrente de su departamento de él. Eso es lo que yo siento, que pues ahí yo voy a ver si él bajó solo, si alguien lo esperaba, porque pues no se mira que hubo violencia de que lo hubieran sacado a la fuerza. Se ve como que él salió y lo único que se llevó, al parecer, es la llave del departamento.
Anyone with information regarding Carlos Casanova's whereabouts is urged to reach out to the family at telephone number 607-3876 or to contact their nearest police station. In a significant development during a policing operation on Tuesday night, law enforcement officials uncovered a stash of 72 live rounds of ammunition in an area north of San Pedro town. During the operation, officers found a variety of ammunition types, including an AK-47 magazine containing 12 7.62mm live rounds, a red box filled with 23 5.56mm rounds, and a 60-round capacity magazine that held 37 5.56 millimeter rounds. Notably, authorities confirmed that no individuals were present at the location when the ammunition was discovered. The recovered items were promptly labeled, sealed, and recorded as found property. Legal documentation process for future legal proceedings. Coming up next, land fraud allegations emerge involving impersonation of Minister Oscar Requena. Stay tuned.
Come we ready, ready. Everybody, body. Shout it out, P.U.P. All the way, all the way.
Belizeans, you asked for it, and here it is.
Shout it out, P.U.P. All the way, all the way.
Together, we prepare to march to another big victory for your People's United Party in General Elections 2025. Calling all our PUP faithful from across the country. Join us at the Belize Civic Center on Sunday, February 16th for a massive music fest and convention rally where we will endorse the party leader, his executive, and all the delegates of the People's United Party. Come hear from your 31 dynamic candidates that will deliver victory for all Belizeans, led by the man who brought us Plan Belize, PUP leader John Briceño. It all kicks off at 11 a.m. on Sunday, February 16th, with music and performances from Ernestine, Consigo, Roxy, all the way from Sugar City, Yastalia, TR Shine, and many others. Make everybody know, Belize the right pan track with the PUP. We'll see you there.
And answer the call for the only party working for us all in this country. It's the P.U.P.
Tonight, a disturbing allegation of land fraud is making waves across social media, specifically through the Facebook platform. An individual has come forward alleging that someone has been impersonating Honorable Oscar Requena in an elaborate scheme that has reportedly swindled her out of her hard-earned money. The victim, who has chosen to remain anonymous, claims to have been approached via a Facebook account that goes by the name Oscar Requena. In a detailed interview, she explained how the interaction began with a friend request and quickly escalated into discussions, and then with the victim even receiving fake email confirmation from someone pretending to be Lands Minister Cordell Hyde with a title that turned out to be fraudulent.
I was sent a friend request through Facebook Messenger by the use of an honorable's name. They used Honorable Oscar Requena's name. Believing it was true, I replied to the person. They had asked me if I knew about the land summit here in California, and I said, yes, I did heard about it, but it was too late for me to go and see them. So they said, you should have contacted me. I said, well, I didn't know. So then I just started chatting with them, and they start putting in their amount of fees that was supposed to be sent to them. So I sure did via the name that was sent, Riva. The name is Riva Yvette Harris. She sent her email and she said the money could have been Zelle to her. So I did send some Zelle to her, but I was able to retrieve back some of the cash, like about $900 US. The bank was able to retrieve $500. That was for the ownership and title of the land. So I shared this with one of my brothers back home, and he went and he checked a tracker and he said there is no such land in that name that was given. So then I said, oh, let me investigate. And when I saw the papers, they had no number. And that's when I realized that this was a scam. I reported this to both the bank and Zelle, and I will probably take further actions with maybe the FBI or police. I would advise people out there to make sure to find out exactly if this is a scam or not by asking the contact person, like if they use an honorable or somebody else's name, they can probably contact the person and ask them if they sent them a friend request. I usually do so, but this time I got caught up in their.
Ultimately, she was persuaded to make a payment of $900 via the money transfer platform Zelle. However, upon realizing she had fallen victim to a scam, she contacted her bank, which managed to halt a portion of the transaction, recovering $500 of her funds. Minister Oscar Requena has not yet made a statement regarding the impersonation or the fraud allegations. Meanwhile, the victim urges others to be cautious, warning that appearances on social media can be deceiving. A 27-year-old Belizean man, Albert Ayala, has been arrested in connection with a Sunday night shooting that left a victim in critical condition on the southwest side of Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, IMDP, confirmed Ayala's arrest on preliminary aggravated battery charges following an extensive investigation by their aggravated assault detectives. The incident occurred around 11:01 p.m. in the 7200 block of Vega Way near Kentucky Avenue. Officers from the IMPD responded promptly to reports of gunfire in the area and discovered a male victim outside a nearby building with a gunshot wound. Despite being able to briefly speak with police at the scene, the victim was quickly transported to a local hospital where he remains in critical condition. As the investigation unfolded, detectives focused their efforts on both the crime scene and the hospital, meticulously gathering evidence and interviewing witnesses to piece together the events leading to the shooting. A witness reported hearing the shots and saw the victim fleeing in their direction, a detail instrumental to the investigation. Another bystander observed a white pickup truck with dual rear wheel dually tires speeding that is away from the vicinity, raising questions about the truck's occupants and their potential involvement in the incident. Authorities have not yet confirmed the motive for the shooting, and the investigation remains ongoing. Albert Ayala is currently in custody, facing preliminary aggravated battery charges. March 12 has been confirmed as the official date for the upcoming general elections. With less than 30 days now remaining before Belizeans head to the polls to elect the country's government for the next 5 years, political aspirants have been on the move, ensuring that their machinery is poised and ready come election day. Here in Orange Walk Town, the People's United Party has but few known and trusted candidates whose track record precedes them. In the Orange Walk East constituency, Honorable Kevin Bernard continues at the helms, now ready to deliver a second term under the PUP.
It's always an excitement. Just as you said, there's a lot of moving parts to get the election rigged and all of that going. So it's never much of a secret in when it comes closer to having to announce the date.
Right.
But as everybody, we have to wait until the Prime Minister makes the official announcement. But it was a room of excitement. I mean, everybody was waiting for that moment when the Prime Minister would make the call. And of course, after the announcement, all the messages starts to come in, so we have to ensure that we are ready. One of the important things Prime Minister have always said to us as Senate bearers, all 31 of us, is to ensure that, we reach out. We need to hit the ground and talk to our people. For some of us, I mean, we have been doing this for a long time. Getting the work done for your constituency, that is what is important. And speaking on the achievements of the government under the recent administration, there's been a lot that has been accomplished, Kwame, and so I'm very much confident that going into this election on March 12th, the great people of Orange Walk East will once again support me as their candidate, as their representative, and I am I must say I'm humbled by their support. I want to thank them, first of all, for the support they have offered in electing me in this term to serve them. And I look forward to their support once again to continue the work of the people, to continue to develop Orange Walk East. That's my goal,
Right.
to ensure that we could see lives improve every single day, whether it is through infrastructure, whether it is through improvement in health, improvement in education support, housing support. So those are the things that social services that we offer through our different social programs. So we continuously strive to ensure that on a daily basis we assist as much as we can to our residents, that especially those that are in need.
Now, and while there are many who are questioning the early timing of the upcoming elections, Minister Bernard says his party is ready and have been ready for some time now.
Well, if you ask me, we wanted to go earlier. I think a lot has been done, but I think that resetting the clock, whether it is November, whether it was March, whether it was earlier last year, it would have been the same result coming. And I can tell you that the people have seen it. And I listened to the media, I think it was Channel 7, trying to do some snippets in terms of the voting population in the Belize district area, Belize City area especially. And one gentleman said in his comment, he said, you know what, I am happy. I'm ready to vote again, because the young people who were here used to come and ask me for $1 too. They are no longer around because they are working. That is showing you, and that's a testament to what the Prime Minister has kept saying. People are working. Why you think the unemployment rate is out at a very, very low, I think 2.7% right now? Unemployment rate. So those who really not working because they really either don't want to work, because there is opportunities, there's a lot of vacancies out there, and when I say vacancies, not in the government offices, but in the private sector, there's a lot of opportunities in the different industries, construction, all over. So it speaks volumes, Kwame, when you hear these type of things. I mean, the benefits people have been getting in this country. So I think the people are ready. So whether it was March, whether it is March, and whether it is later on, of course there were some who would have felt that, let's stretch out the term. But I think in his wisdom, the Prime Minister felt this was the right time for us to call the election. It was a long thought out plan, long thought out decision, because of course he consulted with his key deputy leaders and other advisors that the Prime Minister has as well, and touch base with some of us without even saying the date. He asked us individually, how you feel, are you ready?
With Alodia Aragon Jr. having stepped down as the candidate for the UDP in the East, Minister Bernard says he hopes the opposition can pull it together in time to have a candidate in the constituency for the benefit of the country's democracy.
We always want to see democracy come alive, and we are prepared for any challenge. Whoever the UDP, well, the UDP faction that is under shine, because I understand from the other faction that they are not slating anybody. So it's dependent on what the leader of the opposition, the then leader of the opposition, would decide, or the leader of their party decide who they're going to put. I mean, we have been hearing some names, one or two names that I've heard. We've also heard of some independent group that is going around saying that they have a candidate. We're waiting to see what will happen, and the date to know that is on nomination day, February 24th. I can tell you that we are ready as the People's United Party, poised and ready to win the election, whether we have a candidate or not against us. I'm prepared for the battle. Let's get ready to rumble, as I told my team yesterday. The time has started.
Right. The shambles within the opposition party, according to Bernard, may play a role in the voter turnout come March 12th. Residents, however, are being encouraged to exercise their democratic right to vote.
Well, the comment, when you look at general elections, you have to look at the areas, and I think in Orange Walk East, we've always had a steady voter turnout. I've always called my numbers right since been in the constituency, and we have always seen a 72, 75, 76% voter turnout. Some are saying maybe this year we may have a 65 to 70% voter turnout. I can tell you that when you look at all that is happening in the opposition, that may trigger to some of the voter turnout. There may be some disgruntled UDPs who may not want to even go and support their own party because of the issues that they're having internally. But like I said, our mandate is to ensure that we take out our people and the independent voters to come out and support us. So I still feel that at the end, in Orange East, we may have 72 to 75% voter turnout. I am sensing it. I mean, when the Prime Minister made the call, you have a lot of people who still say, I'm ready to vote. And I've gotten myriads of text messages through my WhatsApp, through my Messenger, seeking support and to make sure that we can get this done. So there's a lot of work we're doing, Carmen, and I am very optimistic that we're going to get that done.
Right. As he now seeks the support of the people of Orange Walk East, Minister Bernard says he looks back at the past 4 years and what his team has been able to accomplish, particularly in areas of infrastructure, education, health, sports, and even land distribution, particularly in areas most in need.
We said to them that your park would need to be renovated. We renovated the entire park with nice benches, lighting, playground area. I said to them we were always going to support sport in the community. And right now we are replacing the entire lights on the football field. So we have sent the lights down to the village chair for them to organize when we could get. Hopefully we'll ask BL because they are the one that has the access to these things, or we're going to get somebody to put up the lights for us. As well, we managed to ensure that the preschool was built and constructed. Right now I'm in working with a private individual to get a new playground for the Santa Marta government school. We said we're going to work on trying to give accessible homes to individuals, and so we managed to build a home for a very, very needy individual in the community. We said to them that we're going to fight for them, for the farmers to ensure that they get the support they need. So every time there's an opportunity through the Ministry of Agriculture where farmers can benefit, I've always been there lobbying for them. Right now we are at the stage of negotiating with the Deputy Prime Minister, and after election, of course, I have said to them, this is a long process, and I know we will win. We'll go back to the minister and to speak to them in terms of how we can get these farmers who have been working their land, that have been working their farmlands, to then apply for purchasing those lands, because these are government lands. And so there were always a confusion in terms of who were the owner of the land. It's government land. We found out that we did the research, and so we are going to ensure that these farmers can have access to their land and apply for their piece of property. And then we constantly been looking at how we identify new land for expansion. In terms of right now, we have BL is going to be working with us to look at the extension of the lighting in the area. We visited an area where there's no lamppost, and around that area has light, so we need to ensure that these people have access to electricity. So we are working on that. Another challenge have always been on the roads. So we constantly go in and try to ensure that the road is maintained. Right now, due to the weather, we had to put a hole, but we have gotten confirmation that as soon as ministry finishes a project that they are working in another area, they are going to resume in the Santa Marta area and the Carmelita area to work on some streets and the sugar roads that are needed. So a lot of efforts is being done, and that's when I say, Carmen, that when you look at the constituency and you go to Palmar, the people of Palmar got a renovated park. Today, as we speak, the residents of Palmar will benefit from the upgrade of the two main roads that traverse through the village. Work has already started. We have
In addition to major works completed in since 2020, Minister Bernard says there is much work in the pipeline which he hopes will be completed during his second term.
We can boast of a newly paved road on the Chanpan that leads to Chanpan Ridge, and that benefits both Palmar and Chanpan Ridge, because as you know, the first section is in the Palmar community, and then that continues into the village where we were able to do that. I know the chairman is working with a private individual as well, who will start to look at the renovation of the park, and where I can support, as I said to him, where I can support, we will support. We are also doing the subdivision in Chanpan Ridge for village expansion, to provide lots, house lots for needy young Chanpan Ridge residents who have been pleading for quite some time that they wanted a piece of land. The main road that is running through Tower Hill, going to Guinea Grass, that is being paved, that is also benefiting Tower Hill. The water system that we brought to Tower Hill, that is benefiting Tower Hill residents. You know, we're constantly in Carmelita working on the roads, where right now, like I said, the chairman had listed to me some of the areas that they want addressed. I got in commitment that we're going to go in there, we're going to get those roads addressed. We've done a lot of major drainage work, especially in the Spanish Town area. There's much more to be done, and we are going to get in there and get those things done. So it's constantly working with your people, making sure, and in the town, of course, we work closely with the mayor and the town council. We are right now, Carmen, working on the Ramon Cervantes Park.
Okay.
I want you, if you take a visit, you look at it, you know, the concept that we have, that when we complete this park, it's going to be a wonderful area, wonderful park, that where young people, families will be able to go out. It will encourage a wellness setting as well, where people can exercise. They're doing a playground area. So we are doing it in phases. Right now we're working on the beach, what we call a beach volleyball and beach football type setting. And then we're going to do the basketball court, and then we're going to ensure we have the playground, benches, people to sit around, proper lighting. So it's going to be a wonderful park. And then in future plans, we have the nature park plans, the renovation of nature park, where we're going to be putting up the new basketball rims on the Sandy Field area. We have to do some readjustments on the basketball court, so I'm going to be starting that pretty soon. Nature park as well, we have to make some adjustments. The way the court was built was not the normal size, so we have to fix that, and then we're going to put in a new basketball rim and there. So but the whole plan is to ensure that we continuously invest in the communities, invest in the constituency, invest in people, because when you invest in people too, in the case of educational support, health assistance, social programs, that is what we have been able to do across the constituency, and that's why I find that it's going to be an easy election.
In the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Minister Bernard says his team has also been hard at work despite the many challenges.
When I took over at the ministry, there was a lot of challenges in terms of, we were just in the middle of a COVID time. But there's a lot of great things that has happened in terms of the Ministry of Health. And I, similarly to the political side, there is a great team effort that goes into making sure we improve healthcare services across the country. From KHMH benefiting from a new CT scan, improved A&E unit, improved wards, new X-ray machines for KHMH, new X-ray machines for Rinjwa, new X-ray machine for Western region and the Southern region, new mammogram machine for Western region to provide for cancer treatment, testing for female, especially the mammograms that, to look after the female in terms of those who are prone to breast cancer. We are working on getting a new one for NRH. The proposed plan for the new expansion of the pediatric ward that is already, the bidding process has already been completed. Now they're doing their review. Hopefully we can get that construction started very soon. This Friday, the Prime Minister will be signing the feasibility contract with Kabey for the plans to upgrade the facilities for the northern region, the southern region. So these are commitments that we made. The elimination of malaria, the elimination of syphilis and HIV transmission from mother to child. These are milestones that have been accomplished in the health system. NHI, how much more can we speak about NHI? NHI rollout has been a great thing for the people, for the north and the entire country, and now we are in the process of rolling out to the entire west. So once we complete that by mid-year, we will have the entire country covered under NHI. And we encourage people to continue to go and register. For those who have not registered, register for NHI. It's a great service. And it complements the work that the Ministry of Health does in primary care, providing primary care services. And so the ministry is committed to ensure that we continue to address the many public health issues that arises, and they're committed. The commitment, again, like I said, where we constantly reviewing our policies, our strategic plans. The 26th of this month, we are launching the new health plan for Belize for 2025, 2030. And that's where we look at the policies, we look at the decisions, and PAHO has been very.
Most recently, Minister Bernard says his ministry has been at the helm of negotiations to have $54 million in write-offs at the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital.
We sought to write off from 2022 March and going back. But let me point out something that is very important. In 2014, the then Prime Minister Barrow had gone on record in the National Assembly at the in the Independence Day speech and said that he was going to write off the $9 million of uncollectible bills that were there at KHMH. Never was it done. It was just lip service. They did not do anything in terms of following the processes. We did otherwise. And the reason why we said going back from 2009 to 2022 March. And so we went through the process. Cabinet paper was drafted, cabinet approved, and then we took the decision back to KHMH authority, because remember KHMH is an authority. Right. And so they are managed by their own rules, their own act, and they're managed by a board. And so the cabinet approved the write-off in saying to KHMH, proceed to do the write-off. And so now that is the process, that anybody who may have owed a bill as of March 2022 going backwards, those bills have been forgiven. And so anybody who owes from April 1st, 2022 to present, those will remain collectible by the authority, and they do their means of collection in terms of ensuring sustainability of the facility at the same time.
The Belize Tourism Industry Association, BTIA, is in mourning following the passing of one of its most dedicated members, Maria Irene Gutierrez. Renowned for her fervent efforts to promote tourism in Corozal, Maria lost her courageous battle with cancer yesterday, leaving behind a legacy of passion and community impact. Maria Gutierrez served as the secretary for the BTIA's Corozal chapter. Her tireless work was a beacon of hope for many in the tourism sector, and her contribution significantly elevated the profile of the area as a desirable destination. Colleagues and friends remembered her fondly, with Efren Perez, the president of the BTIA, describing her as a relentless force in boosting local tourism.
Miss Maria Gutierrez, better known as Miss Mar to all our colleagues in the tourism industry, especially those in the Corozal chapter, was a very stellar personality that I can attest to. Miss Maria has always gone beyond her call to really work with us in trying to get the tourism industry in Corozal moving forward. She collaborated with us as board secretary for the BTIA in Corozal. She was one of the most active individuals that we have had in Mayan reenactment wedding. She worked with us tremendously. Never complained, always motivating the entire team, always putting good words of motivation so that everybody doesn't, stay behind pretty much. So I think that her involvement not only with BTIA but in general with the community itself has been one that is very admirable on her part. She always contributed selflessly to the Helpage organization, and I know that it was one of her most prized charitable events that she organized on her own with key partners. She also was very engaged with the CCC marching band, especially when it came to.
In addition to her role with BTIA, Maria was an entrepreneur owning and operating Jamundo restaurant and bar in the Finca Solana area of Corozal town. Her establishment was not just a place to dine, but a gathering spot for locals and visitors alike, embodying the warmth and hospitality that Belizean culture is known for. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Keeping our beautiful town of Orange Walk clean is everyone's responsibility. Use sturdy bags, tie them securely, and avoid placing sharp objects inside. By properly bagging your garbage, you're not only making it easier for our sanitation workers, but also helping to prevent litter and keep our environment clean. Let's work together to make a difference. For large disposals, contact us for an evaluation.
The Belize Wildlife and Referral Clinic recently facilitated a training for partners with Friends for Conservation and Development. BWRC facilitated training on best practices in wildlife care. This year focused on emergency stabilization, rehabilitation, and New World screw-arm, and what to do if this is seen in wildlife. Participants also gained first-hand experience in wing wrapping, tube feeding, administering subcutaneous fluids, and emergency care, all crucial skills in safeguarding the animals when the team are out in the field. FCD, your dedication to conservation and education is truly inspiring. Thank you for making a difference in the lives of both wildlife and those who work tirelessly to protect them, BWRC expressed. Belize is facing a troubling increase in substance misuse and abuse among adolescents, women, and children, presenting significant risks to their health and development. Of particular concern are the impacts of adolescents, pregnant women, and young people who are especially vulnerable. On February 11th, UNICEF, in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the National Drug Abuse Control Council, NDAC, and Yale University, hosted a key stakeholders meeting to address these pressing issues. During the session, NDAC shared its findings on substance abuse trends among adolescents, youth, and women in Belize. The meeting provided an in-depth discussion of substance abuse, misuse, and abuse, with a focus on identifying effective prevention, treatment, and integration strategies. This meeting is part of a broader initiative with the ongoing situational analysis on substance abuse among adolescents, youth, and women, which aims to better understand the scope of substance abuse across the country. As substance abuse continues to affect young people's development, increased accessibility to harmful substances has made it even more critical to implement collective efforts. These efforts will ensure that women, children, and adolescents receive the necessary resources for prevention, treatment, and support to address this growing public health concern. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, February 13th here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read the text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening.
traffic.